Okay, the purpose of this video is to review the techniques for solving multi-step linear equations that don't have fractions. I'll review what we're going to do with this fairly simple two-step equation right here, remembering that terms that don't have a sign in front of them, like this 5x, are understood to have a plus sign in front of them. And that if there's a minus sign in front of a term, it travels with the term. So actually, just to make that clear, let me change this to a -7. Okay, so that minus sign travels with the 7. And there's an understood plus sign between the two terms on the left side of the equal sign. 5x is one of the terms, -7 is the other term. On the right side of the equal sign, we have a term of plus 3x and a term of plus 12. The idea is to get the terms containing the variable on one side of the equal sign and the constant terms on the other side of the equal sign. And then use the division property for equality to solve for x. So, first of all, we'd like you not to have to write down the next step, but if you have to, that's fine. If we want to get this plus 3x to the left side of the equal sign, we use a technique called transposition of the term. Transposition of terms. If you transpose a term from one side of an equation to the other side, you picture picking it up, transposing it, but changing its sign. It's like you subtracted 3x from both sides. That's how you get this term from the right side to the left side. So if we do that, we've got this 5x, and the plus 3x becomes a minus 3x. And at the same time, we want to get this term -7 to the other side of the equal sign. It's a -7, so if we transpose it, it becomes a +7. What we're really doing is adding 7 to both sides of the equation. So on the right side, we've got the plus 12, and we have a plus 7. Okay, if you can get from here to here without writing down the step in red, that's fine. This becomes 2x equals 19, and now we've got a simple one-step equation where we divide both sides by 2, the coefficient of x, or the number in front of x, or you multiply both sides by 1/2, the reciprocal. And that frequently looks something just like this. 19 divided by 2. There's your answer. Now you could change that to a mixed number, or you could change it to a decimal. For example, maybe 9.5. But there's nothing wrong with that answer. So when I show how to solve the remainder of these problems, I'm not going to show the step in red. So here we go. Board 2. I'm going to work on problem number 12. And our steps are this. Oh, and by the way, we're solving equations without fractions. If we had fractions, we would want to learn a technique called clearing the equation of fractions. That comes later. So make each side of the equation as simple as possible by removing parentheses, if there are any, and combining similar terms. So 6x minus 11x is -5x, plus 2 equals 22. We've got to get the plus 2 to the other side of the equal sign. So we move it and change its sign, or subtract 2, however you want to think of it. So x equals 20 divided by -5. If you can go right to -4, that's fine. If you have to write 20 divided by -5, you might want to consider doing that on scrap paper, or using a calculator if the numbers are even bigger. 14. I've got x's on both sides of the equation. I've got constants on both sides. So I'm going to picture transposing the 7x to the left side. 8x minus 7x is a 1x. I'm going to picture transposing the plus 4 from the left side to the right side. So it will become a -4. So I'll have a -6 and a -4 is -10. And 16, same deal. Transpose a negative 6x to the left side. I'll have a 5x plus 6x is 11x. And if I transpose the minus 1 from the left side to the right side, I'll have a negative 23 plus 1, which is negative 22. So x equals negative 22 divided by 11. This time I'll write it. Negative 22 divided by 11, but that reduces to negative 2. Okay? Next case. Number 18. Let's put the x's on the left side. And by the way, the side that you put the variable on is up to you. It's your choice. I could just as easily put the x's on the right side. If I put this plus x to the left side, I'll have a minus x, and another minus x is minus 2x. If I transpose the plus 10 to the right side, I'll have a 3 minus 10 is minus 7. And now if I divide both sides by negative 2, negative 7 divided by negative 2, negative divided by negative is positive. So I'll go right to positive 7/2. Number 20. Just to be different, this time I'll put the x's on the right side and the constants on the left side. So I'll put this plus x to the right side. It'll become a minus x. 2x minus x is 1x. I'll put the plus 1 from the right side to the left side. I'll have a minus 4, and a minus 1 is minus 5. And then if negative 5 equals x, x also equals negative 5. It's called the symmetric property for equality. 22. If I have to divide both sides by 6. So this is what you're picturing. But 0 divided by any number other than 0 is 0. The only number that makes this true is 0. And finally 24, this time I'll go back to putting the variables on the left. I'll have an x and a minus 6x is minus 5x. I'll have a 1 minus 1 when I transpose this 1 over or subtract 1, I'll get 0. The only way that this negative 5x can equal 0 is if x is 0. It's called the zero product property. You can write 0 divided by negative 5 if you want, but it's just like this number 22. 0 divided by 6 is 0. Finally, let's look at these last three. This time we have to remove some parentheses. So if I distribute the 3, I get 3x minus 6 equals x plus 8. Let's get the variables on the left side of the equal sign. So 3x minus x is 2x. 8 is already on the right side, but I have to get the negative 6 over. 8 plus 6 is 14. Divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. For 28, I've got two sets of parentheses to remove, some similar terms to combine. So distribute the 7. I've got 7x minus 21 equals 4 plus, distribute this 3, 9x minus 15. We'll just go ahead and combine the two similar terms on the right side of the equal sign. That's the two constant terms, 4 and negative 15, combined to negative 11. And now I'm ready to get terms with x on the left side. 7x minus 9x is minus 2x. Constant terms on the right side of the equal sign, so I'll have a negative 11 plus 21. If you don't know what that is and you got to go to scrap paper, I win $21, I lose 11. I'm 10 ahead. And divide by -2. 10 divided by -2 is -5. Number 30. Here's the one that tricks some students early in their careers. Think of this as a -1 if you want. We're distributing a -1 over the parentheses, or I just like to think of it, this means take the opposite of every term inside the parentheses, however you want to think of it. So I get -x plus 4, that removes the parentheses, equals 3x plus 13. I'll go ahead and combine the similar terms on the left side. So 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 12. And just for the heck of it, I'll put the x's on the right side of the equal sign just to do something different. So I've got a 3x on the right side. I move the negative x over. It becomes a plus x. 3x plus 1x is 4x. I got to get the plus 13 to the left side. 12 minus 13 is -1. Divide both sides by 4. I get -1/4 equals x, but I can write it this way if I want to. So x equals -1/4. Let's try this one. So let's see, there's only one problem here. So 7x. Again, this minus sign means take the opposite of every term inside the parentheses. So -9x plus 16 equals 14. Take the opposite of every term inside the parentheses. That's what this minus sign, it's one way to think of it. So I get plus x minus 19. Go ahead and combine the similar terms on each side. 7x minus 9x is -2x plus 16 equals, I've got a plus x, and I've got to combine the terms 14 and minus 19 is -5. This time I'll put the x's on the left. So -2x minus x is -3x. -5 minus 16 is -21. X equals -21 divided by -3. If the numbers were bigger, I might go over here and say, what's -21 divided by -3? Oh, negative divided by negative is positive. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And the last set of problems, let's distribute the 5. I'll put number 34 here. 5x plus 5. Take the opposite of every term inside this set of parentheses. Minus x plus 18 equals 11. Combine the similar terms. 5x minus x is 4x. 5 plus 18, they're already up, both on the left side, so I have no sign changes there. Plus 23 equals 11. Now I got to get that 23 to the other side, so it becomes a minus 23. 4x equals minus 23 and a plus 11. Here I am on scrap paper. It looks like 12. Negative, because I lost more than I won. So -12. -12 divided by 4. I'm not sure what that is. Off on scrap paper. Oh yeah, there it is, -3. Okay. And then over here I'll do 30. This was scrap paper. 36. X. Remove the parentheses by taking the opposite of every term inside the parentheses. So minus 5x minus 1 equals 4. Well, this is understood to be a plus 1 here, so I didn't really need the parentheses. So I have plus x plus 7. Combine similar terms on the left side. X minus 5x, that's like a 1x minus 5x is -4x minus 1 equals There's an x over here. 4 plus 7 is 11. X is on the left side, so I'll have a negative 4x, and a minus x is minus 5x. Move the minus 1 to the other side by changing to a plus 1. 11 plus 1 is 12. Here's a case where when I divide by negative 5, the division doesn't go evenly. So I could write it like this. I could write it like this. As long as there's one minus sign somewhere. Or I could put the minus sign out front. Every fraction has three signs. The sign of the numerator, the sign of the denominator, and the sign of the fraction itself. So right now the sign of the numerator is positive, the sign of the denominator is positive, the sign of the fraction is negative. The positives just are not shown. So there's what we mean by every fraction has three signs. Okay, hope that helped. There you go.